my God, sit down, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you, it's insane. You remember that secret phone Diddy was desperately trying to keep hidden? The one he was begging the court not to look at? Well, they looked, and honey, it's not just bad. It's a full-blown legal apocalypse. Judge Arun just dropped a ruling that might have obliterated Diddy's last defense. I'm not even being dramatic. This changes everything. Let's rewind for a second, because the mess is deep. So Diddy, in a panic move, tried every legal trick in the book to keep that phone and its contents sealed. He claimed attorney-client privilege, corporate privilege, common interest doctrine. He even dragged in something called the Koval doctrine. Like, dude, what even is that? It's some legal technicality about assistants or translators being protected if they help a lawyer understand something. He was grasping. And guess what? The judge saw right through it. Judge Subramanian just laid it out clear. None of those messages are protected, not by attorney-client privilege, not by corporate privilege, not by anything. Translation, it's all fair game now. The texts, the photos, the voice notes. That infamous recording where Diddy literally says, "I don't know how, but they found the phone." Baby, it's all in. Let's talk about this phone for a second, because this is where Diddy truly lost the plot. Apparently, he had two phones. Phone one was the secret one, the one from the time period when all this mess with female one, who people think could be. But here's the kicker. He forwarded a voice note from phone 1 to phone 2, and when they arrested him, they found phone 2, which had evidence of phone 1's existence. Boom, game over. And the government? Oh, they ate this up. They laid it all out like a Netflix docuseries. So what did Diddy do? He sent this desperate voice note to someone named KK, his assistant at the time. He's rambling like, "I don't know how this phone turned up, but there's stuff on it. This could be a big breakthrough," as if that would magically fix anything. But let's get real. If that phone actually had evidence that could help him, he would have handed it over in a heartbeat. Instead, he hid it, sat on it, played dumb, and now that it's out, the judge is like, "Nice try, we're admitting it." But here's where it gets really dark. This isn't just about hidden phones anymore. This is about obstruction of justice. And trust me, that charge alone could land him behind bars for life. Let me break it down. Under federal law, obstruction doesn't even require the act to succeed. You don't need to destroy evidence or threaten witnesses. Just trying to interfere is enough. And baby, they've got him red-handed. Here's how the timeline looks, and it's damning. The feds raid Diddy's homes. They grab everything, laptops, iPads, phones, but this secret phone never handed in. Later, he literally says it's from the time me and female one went to that thing. Like, are you serious? You just time-stamped your own evidence. He says he didn't delete nothing. That means he knew exactly what was on there. And after all that, he still didn't turn it in. That's textbook obstruction. And not only that, it makes him look guilty as hell. Even if Diddy never testifies, prosecutors can wave that voice note in front of the jury and say, "Look at how he acted. Does this look like an innocent man to you?" Let's be real. This isn't about whether there's a smoking gun on the phone. The phone is the smoking gun. The act of hiding it, that's enough to sink him. The feds don't even need the phone to contain damning photos or messages. Just the fact that he hid it is enough to build a whole new case, one that paints him not just as a suspect, but as a manipulator, a man who tried to cheat justice. And honey, juries eat that up. Even if the jury doesn't understand all the complicated racketeering or trafficking charges, obstruction is simple. It's clean, it's emotional. They'll get it and they'll feel it. Now here's the chilling part. This entire thing could multiply his prison time. Obstruction charges can add 5 to 20 years per count depending on how the court interprets it. And guess what? That's in addition to the original charges. So even if he miraculously dodged the bigger charges, obstruction alone might lock him up for good. Now let's not forget how dumb this whole situation is. Diddy literally said in a voice note, "There's gotta be so much stuff on the hard drive, I didn't delete nothing." And he even said he was sending KK a picture of the phone. What? Sir? You documented your own obstruction on tape. Some people are trying to spin it. They say maybe he was just hyping up KK, trying to get her to respond because she'd gone radio silent after the arrest. Some folks even think he was bluffing to make it seem like he had a backup plan. But here's the thing. Intent doesn't matter. Whether he was bluffing or desperate or trying to manipulate KK, he still hid that phone. And the law doesn't care why you hid it. The fact that you did is enough. So what now? Now the prosecution has free reign. They can use everything on that phone, and they will. They're already working on weaving it into the larger narrative that Diddy wasn't just involved in shady business, but that he was also actively trying to manipulate the investigation itself. You know what that means? That means no more excuses, no more lawyer privilege shields. No more hiding behind assistants or corporate structures. The judge just ripped all that away. Diddy isn't just on trial for what he allegedly did years ago. He's now on trial for how he's behaving right now, for how he's handled the aftermath. And that is often more damning than the original crime. Because if you really had nothing to hide, why go to such insane lengths to hide one little phone? Exactly. And that, my friends, is why this ruling might be the final nail in the coffin. Now that the floodgates are open, let's talk about what this really means. This isn't just a legal oops. This is DEFCON 1 for Diddy. The courtroom is no longer just a stage, it's a battlefield. And right now, he's losing every inch of it. Because the one card he thought could save him, that phone, turns out it's the exact thing that's going to bury him. His so-called breakthrough evidence, it backfired. Big time. The prosecution isn't treating this phone like a Hail Mary. They're treating it like a bloody glove. Yep, just like in the OJ case, except this time, the glove talks. It texts, it has voice notes, and most importantly, it proves intent. And if you thought the government was playing fair before, oh baby, they about to unleash hell. This ruling means the defense team just lost its only shield. They can't say, oh, that message was protected, or that was a private convo between my client and his lawyer. No, the judge just blew that to bits. So now Diddy's in the hot seat, and not the kind where you sweat a little. This is full-on meltdown mode. Let's not forget, this wasn't some random voice memo he accidentally left in the cloud. This was deliberate. He told KK, his assistant, perched on the blank. This phone just turned up. There's so much on it. She's gone dark on him, disappeared. And now we know why. Because if she's pulled into this courtroom and they play that voice note, oh, she's gonna fold. Everyone's saying Diddy sent her that voice message to bait her, make her think the case wasn't over. But that doesn't change the facts. Whether he meant to manipulate her or just slipped up, he still obstructed justice. And now the court sees that loud and clear. But wait, it gets worse. You know who's testifying next? Brendan. Remember him? He's the alleged mule, the one who supposedly moved things around for Diddy. And now he's flipping. He's testifying on Monday. And guess what? This phone mess plays right into his story. Because if Brendan testifies that Diddy was directing people, covering things up, hiding devices, and now we know Diddy actually hid a phone, baby, that's not just a pattern, that's a strategy. That's premeditated deception. The jury is going to eat that up. They'll say, look, we don't even need to figure out every little thing Diddy's accused of. We know this much. He lied. He hid evidence. And that makes everything else believable. You see how that works? That's how obstruction flips a case upside down. It amplifies the other charges. It gives the jury a lens to look at everything else with suspicion. Suddenly, all those conspiracy and trafficking allegations, they sound way more legit. And worst of all, this ruling proves one thing loud and clear. Diddy is not in control anymore. He lost the narrative. He lost the legal high ground. And he lost the only thing keeping this whole case from spiraling. His ability to claim it's all lawyer stuff, nothing to see here. Now, the prosecution gets to paint him as a man who isn't just guilty, but dangerous. Someone who tries to outsmart the system. Someone who manipulates people around him. Someone who hides phones in drawers and then acts shocked when they get found. Honey, please. He thought this phone was going to help his case, like it would suddenly crack everything open and prove his innocence. But if that were true, he wouldn't have hid it. He would have walked into court waving it in the air, screaming, I've got proof. Instead, he buried it quietly, secretly, and then tried to spin it as privileged. You don't do that unless you're scared. Now let's be clear about one thing. Obstruction is no joke. This charge is going to stick like glue. Even if every other allegation somehow unravels, this one right here, it's solid. It's documented. It's got audio. It's got timestamps. It's got intent. And prosecutors, they love intent. Diddy handed it to them on a silver platter. So what's next? Now the feds are going to take this ruling and run. Every text, every audio file, every shady timestamp from that phone, they're about to become centerpieces of the case. Exhibits A, B, and C. The courtroom's about to turn into a circus. But this time, Diddy isn't the ringmaster. He's the show. And let's be clear, this ruling isn't just about the past. It changes the entire game going forward. Diddy can't hide behind lawyer talk anymore. That defense is gone. If the judge dropped the hammer on these messages, imagine what's about to come from the rest of those seized devices. The floodgates are open. Diddy's so-called fortress, it's falling apart. Now he's not just facing the original charges, he's staring down new ones that could add decades to his sentence. And even if he walks into court smiling, this ruling will haunt every step. He tried to hide evidence, that's the stain he can't wash off. Every witness, every piece of testimony, now seen through the lens of a man who tried to cover it all up. And that's fatal. So was this recklessness or a plan that finally blew up in his face? Either way, the fire's lit. And Diddy's standing in the middle of it with the match still in his hand because no matter how deep you bury the truth, it always finds a way out.